When Omar first met Kojo, the world felt lighter. He was the kind of man who could make anyone laugh, with a smile that drew people in and a voice that carried quiet confidence. Omar worked as a nurse's aide in a small clinic, while Kojo was a mechanic, his hands always stained with oil but his heart, or so she believed, pure. Together they built dreams out of simplicity, evening walks under streetlights, cooking together in their tiny kitchen, whispering about the future. They had met in the most unexpected way, when Omar's taxi broke down on her way to work one rainy morning. Kojo, drenched from the rain, offered to help. He fixed her car with a grin and refused payment, saying, "Just remember me when your heart needs fixing." She laughed, not knowing how prophetic those words would become. Years passed. Their love deepened, though life was not kind. Finances were always tight, and when they lost their first child in a miscarriage, their world cracked in silence. But Omar stood strong. She believed love could weather anything. And for a time, it seemed to. Then, one morning, Kojo collapsed at his workshop. The diagnosis came like thunder on a clear day: kidney failure. He needed a transplant. Omar's heart broke watching the man she loved fade before her eyes. The doctor explained that the wait list could take years. She didn't hesitate for a second. "Test me," she said, her voice trembling but sure. "If I'm a match, he'll have my kidney." When the results came back positive, she wept, not from fear, but gratitude. She thought, God must have chosen me for this. To her, it was proof that their love was sacred, destined. The surgery wasn't easy. The pain was sharp, the recovery slow. Omar woke in the hospital bed beside Kojo's, her body weak but her spirit strong. Every breath hurt, but when she saw color returning to his face, she felt it was all worth it. She joked, "You're living with a part of me now, don't you dare forget it." He smiled faintly and kissed her hand. For a while, that moment became her source of peace. But life after the transplant changed them. Omar noticed subtle shifts: calls he'd end quickly when she entered the room, nights when he didn't come home, a growing distance she couldn't name. He stopped thanking her for small things. Sometimes, she caught him staring at his phone, smiling softly at messages she couldn't see. The first real crack came one afternoon when she went to do his laundry. In the pocket of his shirt, she found a folded piece of paper with lipstick marks and the words, "*I miss you already." Her heart pounded as if it wanted to escape her chest. She waited until he came home and asked quietly, "Who is she?" Kojo froze. His silence was enough. He muttered excuses, claiming it was nothing, but the guilt in his eyes betrayed him. Days later, a friend called, someone who couldn't bear to keep the secret any longer. Kojo had been seeing another woman long before his illness. Even while Omar was preparing for surgery, he'd been lying to her. Omar felt her world collapse. The man she had risked her life for, the one who carried her kidney, had betrayed her in the cruelest way. She didn't scream. She didn't throw things. She just stood there, her heart quietly bleeding. That night, she sat by the window and touched the scar on her abdomen. It throbbed under her fingers, not from the surgery, but from the weight of betrayal. For weeks, Omar couldn't sleep. She replayed every memory, every promise, every word of love that now felt like poison. But pain, like fire, refines the soul. Slowly, she began to see the truth. She had mistaken sacrifice for love. She had believed that giving everything would make her enough. One morning, Omar packed her things. She left a note on the table that said, "*I gave you life, and you gave me lessons. I hope you use both wisely. Then she walked out without looking back. The years that followed were not easy. Healing never is. But Oma turned her pain into purpose. She began volunteering at women's support groups, helping others find strength after betrayal. Her story spread online, newspapers picked it up, calling her the woman with the golden heart. People were inspired by her grace, her courage, her refusal to be broken. She learned to smile again, not because she forgot, but because she forgave, not him, but herself. She forgave the part of her that thought love had to hurt. One day, years later, Oma stood on a small stage at a women's conference. The crowd was silent as she spoke, her voice steady and filled with calm power. I once thought saving someone's life meant they'd love you forever, she said. But love isn't proven by sacrifice. It's proven by respect, honesty, and kindness. If your love cost you your peace, it's not love, it's bondage. When she finished, the room erupted in applause. She smiled, hand on the faint scar near her ribs. That mark would always remind her of pain, but also of power. Amma had given life, and almost lost her own spirit. But in the end, she found something greater than love from another person. She found love for herself. And this time, it was enough.